Hello and welcome to Pod Meets World. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.
And this week we're discussing the episode Train of Fools. This episode originally aired December 15th, 1995, attracting approximately 17.4 million viewers. Number one film in America this week. Any guesses? End of 95. This does not feel like a Christmas movie at all to me. Again, it feels like it should have come out in the summer.
Is it Die Hard?
No. And no matter what anybody says, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
But it happens during
That is irrelevant.
Christmas.
Setting does not determine if it's a Christmas film. That is insane. Anyway, moving on. What's the movie?
The thing that's coming to my mind is Lion King, though. The fact that
No.
that's probably not it.
I think that's like 93 or 94. Justin, any ideas?
No.
Jumanji.
Ooh!
Which does not feel like a movie you release at Christmas, but whatever. Number one show on television this week, ER.
Oh man.
Err.
Oh man, them doctors.
Yes. WWF champion at the time. Any guesses?
Did they manage to fix that whole debacle thing that was going on, or is it still kind of a case of the one person has it, but the other person technically has it?
That's
because he's supposedly
WCW.
Amazing.
Different company, David.
Okay.
To me, it's all the same.
They're clearly not.
Okay, Hulk Hogan.
Wrong company yet again.
See? All the same to me. Something about Diesel.
No, that was a while ago.
See? I don't remember. I don't know.
It's Bret Hart.
Oh, him.
And WCW champion at the time.
So is it the case that it's the one person, but it's really the other person because of that whole debacle thingy?
Nobody. Again. Still.
What? No, it's still Randy Savage.
Oh.
For now.
Because reasons.
We'll
Or
get
maybe
into
even because of raisins.
We'll get into it later. And number one song for the week. Any guesses?
95.
End of 95. And this will be the top song for a fecking long time.
Is it one of them boy bands?
I wouldn't consider... No, I would say no.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Now, in my case, I was going to be thinking Backstreet Boys with one of their particular songs.
No. It's One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men.
Oh.
That's gonna be for a long time, too. Great.
Well,
Yes. Now, so for video games. Alright, let's get into this. December 9th on the Super Nintendo, Dragon Quest VI, who cares?
Well,
Man.
that only came out in Japan until it came out onto the DS, 2000 something.
Yes, but it's Dragon Quest, so who cares? However, Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness on the
Ooh.
same day.
neat.
A amazing game. On December 15th, the same day as this episode, on the Super Nintendo, Tales of Fantasia.
Another
Ooh.
Japanese-only title for the Super Nintendo. Or
Yeah.
Super Famicom, rather.
It's an RPG, so who cares?
It's the Tales series, and it's neat.
That one was kind of a rough start, honestly.
Yeah, it was kind of its first, so.
Mm-hmm.
Also on the 15th, on DOS. Oh, DOS. Brain Dead 13. It's an FMV game. I don't know anything more about it.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
And on the PlayStation 1, I'm going to butcher this, because it's some Japanese word.
Uh-oh.
Suikoden?
Suikoden?
Sure.
Ooh, neat.
Okay.
Why not? Alrighty. So in this episode, Sean's Uncle Laszlo drives a limo as a business, and he's not busy for New Year's. So Uncle Laszlo is going to chauffeur boys around to various parties, or whatever 15-year-olds do on New Year's in 1995. Eric's got a date with some jeans model named Rebecca Alexa, and, well, he's kind of excited. And he says Rebecca Alexa a fucking lot.
I hope you don't have speakers and have, a listening device. Because,
Oh, that would be amazing if you had an Alexa. It would be good.
Alexa,
Fucking
yeah.
wild.
That'll be an interesting time.
Turner and Eli are about to have a bros night for New Year's with pizza and beer, and they reminisce about the women they've dated this past year. Over a span of less than 60 seconds, 2 women from Turner's past show up at the door and invite themselves in, and apparently they're friends, and they're really annoying.
Yeah, and then the names escape me, but one's into it, the other one not so much.
Apparently, the corpse in the back of Uncle Laszlo's hearse started breathing, so the boys have lost their mode of transportation and are back at Corey's house. They picked up Topanga along the way, so she's with them now, too. Oh, hey, Eric's car broke down, so now he and Rebecca, Alexa, are back at the Matthews house because fucking writing or something.
Reasons.
So now the gang decides to share a cab to get downtown, but then Corey sends the cabbie away because of some kind of shit, like, I don't know, his license didn't look like him, so Corey thinks he's a serial killer or something.
It's sketchy.
We're almost halfway through this episode and fuck all has happened.
So, typical New Year's Eve.
No, so they take the subway, but it's basically a 2-bottle episode between the subway and Mr. Turner's place. On the wall of the subway, Corey and Sean find a PSA with a picture of Mr. Feeney saying he wants them to stay in school, which is pretty good.
It's amazing.
Indeed.
Corey spills the beans that Eric just wants to kiss Rebecca Alexa at midnight as some sort of trophy display, so she bails out of the subway car while it's stopped, and then the subway breaks down after it leaves the station. So Eric's freaking out, but Sean is playing it cool. So far he's found a woman who's gone into labor in car 2, and some parochial schoolgirls in car 5. Schoolgirls in fucking huge air quotes. Sean announces that the woman in labor is now close to finishing, or whatever the word is for that, so asks the car if anyone knows anything about delivery. Sean then picks out a pizza delivery guy who enthusiastically runs to help deliver the baby. Because, he's a fucking doctor. Eric's still moping, but then he and Corey reminisce about all the past New Year's Eves, and Eric's not sad anymore. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Sean's got some of those schoolgirls hanging around with him, and they look like they're fucking 30. I don't even know what the fuck.
Hey, I found twins. The lady had twins? No, I found these girls.
They're fucking 30, though. Like, what the fuck? And, also, we find out that some babysitter curled Corey's hair, 10 years ago, and it still hasn't come out. Because, waka waka, that's a fucking joke.
Oh.
So what do you all think of this episode?
It works. Nothing too amazing or crazy, but nothing world-ending with all of its things.
Apparently there was also some kind of subplot with other teachers.
Oh.
Not with Feeney, though. Well,
Yeah, you
Feeney
mean Turner
was actually...
anyway.
Yeah. Nothing much happens there, except...
A third one joins the fray, and she's the sad, miserable one.
Yeah,
And-
Turner's just like, see ya.
And, then
And I'm like, good for you for getting out of this terrible storyline.
it's like, okay, I'm out of here.
That and supposedly a subplot that Sean now has Mr. Feeney on for $20 getting him a cab down to the airport.
And for
Supposedly.
some reason, Feeney needed money.
Yeah, because you only had traveler's checks.
Okay.
And for some reason the cabbie... Well, I guess the cabbie would take a traveler's check.
And then, of course, end of the episode joke, Mr. Feeney gets the sketchy cab driver that they tried to get with their group for New Year's Eve.
Yeah. And I love how he leaves and he's like, fine, I'll risk my liver. It's like, first off, I'm pretty sure they would take your kidney, not your liver. But that's beside the point.
Meh.
Anyway,
I need that to live.
apparently Sean doesn't because he's already had his out. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this episode. I thought it was just kind of meh.
Oh man, we need to fill a slot. I got this idea. Yeah, it will work.
And Christmas episodes always work better than New Year's episodes. Because New Year's is kind of eh.
Unless it's the specific thing of two people supposedly getting together on New Year's or
Even then,
some other supposed thing. There's a couple stories that work, but only those couple stories.
Alrighty, so if you have nothing else for this episode, next week we'll be discussing the episode City Slackers. And it's going to be really hard for me to say that and not City Slickers. Because City Slickers is a great movie. Go watch it. So Mr. Feeney announces to Matthew's family that he intends to sell his cabin in the Poconos. And Corey and Sean sneak up there to, without their parents' knowledge, for some skiing and to meet girls.
Because you know.
Boys!
And it's going to be, well, it's going to be a thing. Anyway, so until next time, I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.